Good evening, my friend. Thank you so very much for being here. Welcome to WDW Radio Live. Welcome home and welcome to my office. I am Lou Mangello. If you're watching live, I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you brought a snack because the conversation will invariably talk about food. And if you're watching on the replay, don't forget to join me right here, 7:30 p.m. Eastern at WDWRadioLive.com, where you can watch now on either or both Facebook as well as YouTube. So pick your channel where you are most comfortable. Be part of the conversation. I can see the comments from both, so please introduce yourself, say hi, let me know where you're watching from, and finally, this is going to be very cathartic for me because I'm happy to finally be able to talk about and share the secrets that I have been keeping with Becky Mankin from Mouse Fan Travel, who I know is here and she's watching. There she is, live on, I'm sure she's on both YouTube and Facebook because she gets, she gets FOMO very, very easily. But she is really the queen, the empress. I'm not sure what the official title is, of and from MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, and a big part about what we're going to talk about tonight, because I have not one, not two, but three items. Take them off the whiteboard because they finally have come to fruition, and more importantly, the response has been amazing. It has been tremendous and overwhelming, and it has been an exciting couple of days. Little stressful when the site got sort of pummeled with traffic at one point and went down. It's fine. Nothing like dealing with technical support until about 2:30 last night and starting at 7:30 this morning. So I am America and Lou. We run on Dunkin'. Thank you very much. You don't sponsor the show, but in a way that you do because you keep me awake and afloat and heavily caffeinated. But more importantly, you keep a smile on my face and you help keep the lights on. So thank you very much for being here, and more importantly, for so many of you who have very quickly come out and joined us and signed up to join us on our Adventures by Disney trips, which are coming up. And we have a very busy 2025, and we might not be done yet. Becky doesn't know this yet. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Well, actually, it's not true, because in addition to all the Disney stuff that I do, I've got all the momentum stuff going on. By the way, quick aside, if you are a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, a creator, and want to sort of level up your brand, your business, or idea, go to LouMangello.com/momentum. Take advantage of our $100 off discount, our super duper early bird, 50 people, 3 days in Walt Disney World, one room, one track. It is not presentation. It is workshop based. So you do the work in the room, and I promise you will come out better on the other side, having met, worked with, and started to do some of the work to help you continue to move forward and build momentum. Anyway, that's LouMangello.com/momentum. So yes, it is a busy, packed year that we have coming up in 2025. I had hinted for a long time, based on popular demand, since we first went to Japan in 2019 on an Adventures by Disney, which I think it's not fair for me to try and rank the Adventures by Disney because they're all special in their own way, but I love Japan. I love Japan immensely, not just for the food, not just for the people, not just for the culture of service and respect, but also for the food. It is an amazing place. And like everything Disney does, they plus it up in a way that only Adventures by Disney can do, which is why we are going to go back to Japan in 2025, May 18th through the 27th. It is a 9-day adventure, which stops in Kyoto, my favorite place on the planet, period. Hiroshima, Takayama, which is a very, very close in terms of my favorite destinations on this ABD. Shirakawa and Tokyo, it is a very, very special place. It is a city that is unique among cities, and I've been to a lot of big cities around the world, but Tokyo is incredible. So this is one that we've been planning, talking about, and this is going to be a WDW Radio only group, like it is just us. So whether you come alone, with a spouse, with your friends, with your family, you also know that you have extended family because it is just members of the WDW Radio community. This, like all the ABDs, are going to be adults only, which allows us to do some different special things thanks to a little bit of extra sprinkling of pixie dust from Mouse Fan Travel and Becky and Adventures by Disney. This, like all the other ones, the form was open this morning. I do believe, Becky, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe we are down to 4 spots left on this ABD. And by the way, one of the things I love about ABD is they're very intimate. And a lot of times we make them even a little bit more intimate, not in a weird way. Some ABDs can go as big as like 36, 38 people. We like to keep it a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate. But I do believe we only have a few spots left for this ABD, which I promise you is just like it is. I know it sort of sounds like melodramatic and like hyperbolic, but it is a trip of a lifetime. Father Christopher says, Lou, you really threw me. I'm having memories of Catholic school. Like I'm feeling like the priest is yelling at me. Not that I got yelled at a lot. I was all set to sign up for Japan, but then he released the California trip, and that has been my number one ABD trip that I've wanted to do. So I called an audible, changed last minute, and signed up for the California trip instead. I guess I'll have to do Japan next time. Now you have to do it again in 5 years or so. Listen, you never have to ask me twice about going to do Japan. And I will, Becky and I have talked about this. If Japan, as it looks like it probably will, sells out very quickly, possibly in today or so, if there is enough interest, there's a possibility of doing a back-to-back Japan. So we will get to that. We will address that when we come to it. But just so you know, part of the reason why I wanted to talk about these tonight was not just sort of let you know about these trips, but I also want to, and that's why Becky's here, is answer any questions you might have about any of these trips specifically, Adventures by Disney, what makes our trips unique other than the fact that we get to go and do them together, or however we might be able to help you. Again, you have me and you have Becky in the chat as well. And if you're on Facebook, you can also private messenger her as well. So I'm not going to go too far into detail. If you go to www.radio.com/Japan25, you will be able to see exactly what the itinerary looks like, why to join the adventure, a day-by-day breakdown of the itinerary and some of the things that we're going to do. I say some of the things because there's always a few surprises in there as well. The ABDs do not go to Tokyo Disneyland or Tokyo Disney Sea, but I highly suggest and recommend that you allocate a couple of days after to go and visit Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. It's not something that we are able to book as a group, as Tokyo sort of operates very independently. It's Oriental Land Company, so we're not able to, and Mouse Fan Travel is not able to do a lot of things in terms of booking groups. But I can promise you, some of us will be there after, and we make our own fun. We make our own groups, and Becky says, I'm sure there's other reasons why I'm here. Yes, because Becky's afraid that I'm going to say something that she doesn't want me to announce as yet. But all these things are on the site, as well as the rates and details, what's included, what's not included, as well as a sign-up form. So if you are interested, again, these trips do sell out. They sell out very quickly. I'll talk about one of the ones tonight has already sold out, some of the contingency plans that we have for that. And maybe that's a good opportunity for me to go from Japan, from Tokyo Disneyland to where it all began, which is the original Disneyland Resort and Hollywood, the Walt Disney Studios, the Walt Disney Archives, it's the final scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark plus 100, Walt Disney Imagineering, the Jim Henson Company, which is one of my favorite parts of this trip. So you go to Disneyland, but you go to Walt's apartment in a way that's different than you can experience it anywhere and any other way, as well as sort of some backstage special things at Disney California Adventure Park. Now, I got some good news and I've got some bad news, and then I've got some good news again, because this trip, this was very surprising to me. It sold out already. This trip sold out in, it wasn't even maybe 12 hours, 14 hours, somewhere around there. So this trip did sell out. Again, it was a first come, first serve. I did not expect it to happen this quickly. That being said, there is a possibility. So you have two options when it comes to this trip. One, we are taking a wait list. So if you go and fill out the form, you will be added to the wait list. Again, the wait list is going to operate as well. First come, first serve. If somebody drops out, the first person to respond takes that spot. There is a possibility of us adding on a second date for the Disneyland and Hollywood trip, depending on interest, timing, etc. If you go to wdwradio.com/DL25, the interest form is there. And on that form, you will now see two possible additional date options, which would be July 6th through the 11th, 2025, or August 10th through the 15th, 2025. So if you are interested, I suggest filling out that form. We already have an interest list for some of those days starting to fill up. This too, we did this trip. God, Becky, what was the first year that we did this? Was it 2017? Somewhere around there. If you are a Disney fan, which obviously you are, and you love the history, sort of even pre-Disneyland, and really want to get a sense of the company as a whole and getting to go to the studios and archives and Imagineering, you realize that these are all pieces of a very large, very complex, but very interconnected, story-driven, magic-making puzzle that as you go through the ABD and as you finish, like all these light bulbs start sort of going off, and you will see things on this trip, I promise you cannot and will not see anywhere, including on YouTube videos or even Disney Plus. I'm not going to spoil the magic. Plus, as Becky alluded to, these trips change from time to time. So the trip that we took in Japan in 2019 is going to be slightly different than the one we're taking now. We make some changes along the way. The itinerary changes a little bit. We're also because we buy the group out, we and Becky are able to make a little bit of extra magic. Same thing happens here. This is a WDW Radio adults only exclusive trip. So again, you are going to be, even if you come solo, and some folks do, we had somebody for the Japan trip who wanted to go solo, was looking for a roommate. Yesterday morning, found somebody, was able to book. The same thing here. We will help you, and I will help you, and Becky will help you connect with somebody. If you are a solo traveler and don't want to sort of do a solo room, which comes as, obviously, it's like going anywhere. As a solo, there's an additional cost. If you want a room with somebody, we can help try and do that for you. Jason Knott from Here with the Magic is also going to be coming with us, which I'm not sure if that's a selling point, Lou. Maybe you should take that off the screen right away. Carlos Silva is coming. I see a lot of people who already have signed up to join. Suzanne Armstrong says she is so excited for that. And what I love is it's so great to see so many familiar faces that have adventured before, as well as folks who I've heard about the adventures. We heard us talk about it on the show and decided that they want to join as well. Gregory Haas, and he's bringing his wife this time. I'm not saying that you didn't bring your wife last time because the timing didn't work out, but we adventured together was it earlier this year? No, it was last year, and we're going to do it again next year. Ash Basher says, what is the deposit for an ABD trip? That's a great question. So if you go and look at the form, you will see that, let me just I want to make sure, Becky, you can answer this, but I do believe that you are charged. It's going to depend on each trip, but I believe it is a non-refundable 20% deposit. That is an ABD thing. When you book an Adventures by Disney through us or you book through them, that's the way ABD works. So do we ever let kids come along? Absolutely. We've done a lot of family-friendly ones in the past, but we have found out that, Karen, is a lot of times, whether it's because of schedule, whether it's because of costs, other things as well, we don't normally get a lot of kids. So if we're able to do some extra special things, and look, you know me, I am not the exclusive anything, right? I am not the adults only person. But when we see that this is what the trend is normally been, in terms of having guests under 18 or even under 16, if we know we're able to bring and do some additional very special stuff by making an adults only trip, we will do that. However, you know that 99% of the other things that we do are certainly very, very family friendly. Becky says, due to the group, 20% is non-refundable and non-transferable. So it's obviously important to make sure you check your dates, check all the things out, which is why I try to give a little bit of lead time from when I'm able to share what we have. Because sometimes, and just so you know, this is how this happens. These things happen very, very quickly. This has been a whirlwind week for a lot of different, personal and business reasons. But, once we get the okay from ABD and we sign the contract, like the clock starts ticking very, very fast. And in order for us to do certain things and offer certain discounts, which these rates are for a certain amount of time, it has to execute quickly. So I've been building pages and building forums and doing all kinds of stuff. And then I've got to get those ready, get all the emails out, announce it to you, make them live the next day. So it does happen very very quickly. I swear I've been a joy to be around this whole week. But yeah, so that's sort of the reason why this happens. Becky says, get insurance for unexpected reasons to cancel, especially if you're doing, things like the overseas trips, etc. It is always a very, very good idea to do that. Ashley says, I came in late. That's okay, Ashley. Everybody loves Ashley. I mean, I know I love Ashley. Can locals say hi at a meet before or after the Adventures by Disney trip? Assuming that you're talking about this one, unless you want to come out to Japan. Yeah, usually what we do is I try and do some sort of a meetup, probably at Disneyland, before or after the ABD. It's almost impossible to schedule things during the ABD because the Adventures by Disney trips are, intense is the wrong word, but there's always a lot going on. You do get downtime in evenings to do sometimes some dinners on your own and things like that, but it is a pretty packed, there's a lot of things they pack into a relatively short period of time. That is a good thing, not a bad thing, but it also makes it nearly impossible to sort of take a break in the day and do a meetup. So usually, depending on the day of the week that it starts or ends, I'll try and do something, at Disneyland. So let me see. Mike Beckerman says, I was going to say ABD dropped 25 just a few days ago, so this happened super fast. Yeah, Mike, this is the way that it goes. It is a whirlwind, and me and Becky and the travel advisors, like literally working around the clock to pull this off. Stan Solo says, did I at least wipe a couple of things off the whiteboard? I did. These have been sitting here in terms of this whiteboard and that whiteboard. But I'm going to have a separate whiteboard conversation on a separate day because I'm going to wipe some things off the whiteboard. I'm going to remove them because I've added some things to the whiteboard that I have not even hinted about sharing as yet. I have been scrambling to get a lot of stuff done before I leave on this trip on Friday. I've been able to execute a couple of them already. So, for example, if you go to, actually, I'll share it. If you go to LouMongello.com, this is on the business side. If you go to LouMongello.com, I have a free resource available. Sort of, if you are solopreneur, creator, entrepreneur, I have sort of a solopreneur mindset mastery guide to sort of help you out. It is completely free. There is no obligation. You just sign up, get your email, and I will send that mindset mastery guide to you. So I've got some things working on that side. I've got things working on the Disney side. There is a lot of stuff going on. And yes, Becky and I have been messaging a lot. And it's funny because when Becky doesn't hear from me like in 30 seconds, because I'm juggling a lot of just other stuff here. Oh, by the way, I had like emergency eye surgery on Friday. Thank God by today, it is way more healed up. She starts messaging me anywhere. And she'll call, she'll leave voicemails, then she'll start texting me. So it's email, Facebook Messenger, phone, text, and then she'll bribe me. She'll send pictures of not like anything bad, like pictures of sushi. Like that's her way of like wave in the air and get my attention. And then if I don't respond, then she starts getting nervous. So it has been an exciting couple of days to say that. Yeah, so let me quickly catch up on, again, if you have any questions, post them here. I promise I will go to a Jonathan Embry. I love Jonathan Embry. I love the whole Embry family. So I'm shocked that the Hollywood Disneyland sold out that fast. I did as well. So 2018, yeah, it was 20. I can't believe that was 6 years ago. But that was a great time. Jason Knapp, it's not often that I agree with you, other than one, really enjoying what you do at herewiththemagic.com, and two, saying that Mike Beckerman needs to come to Japan too. Can you imagine the fun that we would have with Mike Beckerman? Sort of turned the fun meter up to 11. I'm just saying that's what he brings to the table. Mystic Renegade, which may have one of the coolest names on YouTube. It's the UK Donut Guy. Watching from Scat Cat Cafe with your mom. We had a meetup at Scat Cats at the lounge last year. God, time goes by so fast. And you brought me donuts and your mom. So you're over here. I'm going over there. We're going to miss each other once again, but thank you very much for watching, and please enjoy your donuts. Mike Beckerman says, Jason, unless the wife lets me go solo, probably not. Listen, Mike Beckerman, I just said we'll pair you up with somebody. Don't worry. We'll make that happen if we need to. All right, let me see. Let me catch. Look, even Becky's yelling, Beckerman, come to Japan. Poor Mike is going to... When we see Mike in a couple of days, it's going to be relentless to get him to come to Japan. And Mrs. Beckerman is already saying no. All right, it doesn't matter, because in addition to the Adventures by Disney to California and the Adventures by Disney to Japan, we have, like the late, great Steve Jobs, there's one more thing. Because last year, when we did our first, nor shall it be the last, river cruise, which was a very new experience for me, something unique, different than anything I've ever done before. And I've done a lot of ocean cruises on Disney primarily, and a few of the other lines as well. I almost immediately fell in love. Like the day we were there, the first day we were there, I was saying, Becky, we need to do this again. And we did the Christmas markets on the Danube. Before we left, there were already borderline chants for summer on the Seine. We tried to make that happen. Dates didn't work out. So instead of summer on the Seine, we now have the fall in France, the Seine River Cruise to Paris and Normandy. And this too is an Adventures by Disney cruise on AMA waterways. It is on the AMA Lyra. This is going to take place September 18th through the 25th. And this really sort of highlights the magic of northern France. We go to Paris, Monet Gardens, the Normandy beaches, a number. Again, you can sort of see the day-by-day itinerary, which I don't want to read because honestly, I can't pronounce 84.9% of the words and proper names there. However, one of the things I love about not just ocean cruising, but river cruising is pretty much everything is included. So all your accommodations, which are beautiful and luxurious, all your meals on the cruise, including some very upscale gourmet dinners, all of your tours are included. So you have these expertly guided tours, and like all the Adventures by Disney, you have local guides and you have the Adventures by Disney guides who are there with you from stem to stern, beginning to end, at every single destination. And there are a lot, right? You make a lot of stops. That's one thing that's beautiful about river cruising. You literally sort of pull up to the port. There's no embarkation, debarkation nonsense. You walk on and off, sometimes bike on and off the ship, hit a number of different ports, and you can get on and off sometimes multiple times a day. So you not only have the expert local guides, the expert Adventures by Disney guides, but you also a lot of times will have VIP access to some of these incredible destinations. I'm smiling as I'm thinking back to some of the places we went on the Christmas market. There's also onboard entertainment, onboard activities. Did I mention food? And yes, because this is Adventures by Disney, there are Disney-themed events and experiences, but all of your transportation is included, all the gratuities, all the taxes. You theoretically, and I wish my family would do this more often. You theoretically could walk on board and not have to spend a dime well, certainly not on board, but unless you do things when you get off the ship. When it says all inclusive, it really is all inclusive, and it's one of the things that I love. And the amenities are wonderful. The ship is smaller. Like, there's this wonderful intimacy about the ship, but it also has great amenities on the ship as well. Many things we couldn't take advantage of on the Danube cruise because it was wintertime. It was Christmas market, so it was snowing and sleeting. So there was no hot tub. There was no outdoor activities. There was no sun deck, but there was a lot of fun that we had inside on the ship. Beth Wolf says, river cruising is fantastic. I would do it in a heartbeat. So easy, so low key, everything included. And Beth, I agree with you 1,000%. And this is where going together as a group like really shines, because there's, unlike a traditional ocean cruise, right? You can be sort of separated in 25 different areas. Because there's really sort of one main gathering space, we're all together at night, whether you're having a drink, playing a game, talking, doing entertainment activities, or just sort of relaxing or reading a book on your own. I love the fact that we're sort of all together as much or as little as you want to be. The ships are very small, so about 100 and Becky, what's the Amalira? It's like 150 or so guests, I believe, somewhere around there. On the last cruise we did, I think there was 111 people on board total, and 56 of them were from our WDW Radio family. So this was this wonderful, takeover of the ship, but the other guests were wonderful, and it was great to sort of meet and interact with them. But there was always somebody to sit and chat with. And I really liked, like Beth said, this very laid back, low key, not like, when you go on a Disney cruise, it's okay. We have to have dinner at 5 and then the show's at 7. Then they got to go here for bingo and then here for this show and then go to match. So this is not like that. It's not like hurry from place to place to place. There is a schedule, but it is very laid back, and 99% of the things that are on the schedule take place in that single location. So, Linda Lammer says it is so much fun, and we've had folks come solo, and we've had folks come with their entire family. We've had folks come as couples or with some friends. So however you want or would like to vacation, this is a great, great way to do it. And I love the fact that you just sort of show up and you don't have to worry about anything. Like, you sort of live out of that single room for a week, but you get to visit all of these incredible ports and destinations where there's always something to do. And the other thing that I really, really liked, and I know we talked about this on the podcast, is for these excursions and experiences, most of them had sort of a different tiers and different levels. So if you are sort of more of an active adventurer and you don't mind walking and going up hills, you've got your thing. If you're somebody who needs to maybe take it a little bit slower, maybe you don't want to do, they have sort of a medium speed, as it were, for the same, you'll see the same things, but just in a different way. And if you have mobility issues, if maybe you can't walk or you need a scooter, you need help, whatever, there is a sort of a lighter, gentler version, which I was a little bit jealous of because they were sort of going around in this wonderfully themed little like tram train through some of these little towns and villages. You can do that too. So I love the fact that AMA Waterways and Adventures by Disney makes it so very inclusive and accessible. You don't lose out on anything depending on how slow or fast you can or cannot walk. And that was one of the things that really, really impressed me about this. Carlos says we need to go to Portugal. Carlos, you had me at Portugal. I've heard amazing things about Portugal, not just from you, but from Jason and my friend Angela, who may or may not be in here as well. So 2026 is already in discussions. As I think Becky mentioned 2027 at one point, and I felt a little like radiating pain down my left arm when she said that. So Kira says, I would love to do a river cruise one day. This sounds, Kira, the river cruise, I can't say enough good things about it. If you can't sort of get the sense of joy on my face and my voice now, you can go back and listen to the recap. Jonathan says, if I were to do a river cruise, I'd love to do it with WDW Radio I knew you would. John, you'll never be alone, brother. You know that. Plus, John and I, we both have this incredible love and appreciation for food. So just imagine all the good things that we would see and eat in France. Jason says, I would go back to Lisbon right now. I can only imagine the stories I'm going to hear about the two of you in Lisbon. Kenneth Pucci says, will there be an optional post-cruise group trip to Disneyland Paris in the works? So yes and no. So yes, you can book, excuse me, your Mouse Fan Travel Advisor. So if we're going, are you talking about for this trip or for the Adventures by Disney to, so if you're talking about this trip, not the one that we're doing, we don't have anything sort of officially on the books yet. However, there is, Becky, correct me if I'm wrong, for this one, there is an optional 2-day pre-Paris. Wait, let me get to this. A 3-day, I was getting to this. There's a 3-day Adventures by Disney Paris Escape, and there's a 2-night stay in Paris, again through Adventures by Disney, where you sort of go into the heart of Parisian culture. You do things like a visit to the Louvre, a private guided tour of the Eiffel Tower, a culinary delight with local French cooking class. You had me at culinary delight. So you can sort of add on that at the beginning, and then you can certainly do an add-on at the end. Becky and I haven't sort of talked about an official sort of group to Disneyland Paris, but like we're right there. So, I think the answer is going to be yes. I'm going to say that the answer is yes. I know it's not on the page here, but it is something that I know we are going to talk about. So, Mike Beckman says, between Jason Knapp, Lou Mangello, Becky Mencken, I feel like Japan has to happen, Beth Wolf. It's not like it. So we'll talk more, Beckermans, when we get there. There are other friends coming that you know very well on this Adventures by Disney to Japan. So if you need, I'll actually do a presentation. I'll do a keynote presentation while we're on this ABD. Top 10 reasons why the Beckermans, or at least one of the Beckermans, needs to come on the Adventures by Disney. I'm probably getting me and Beckerman in trouble all at the same time. So Ashley says, speaking of post-trip trips, would MEI be able to help book a post-Japan ABD trip to Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea? Actually, so this is something that we've been working on and struggling with. And I did mention earlier, Tokyo Disneyland is its own separate entity in terms of ownership of the park with Oriental Land Company. Because of that, the way that they book or do not allow bookings from non-Japanese based travel agents is very different, and it's not something that we are able to do. And if you go to, and I highly recommend going to the Tokyo Disneyland website, you'll see that the way that they book rooms and park reservations and things like that is very different than the way we do here, and we are not actually able to make a group reservation. So there will be a group of us going, but it is not something that we're able to sort of coordinate in terms of booking, if that makes any sense. Becky, correct me if I'm wrong. If they want to stay at one of the, I'm assuming they're called Good Neighbor hotels, right? The Hilton, some of the other ones in that area that's very, very close. Like the Sheraton, I think, is within walking distance. You are able to book those, right? But not necessarily vacation packages. You can sort of, I know it's a little convoluted as to, okay, you can't book the Disney resorts, but you can book the area resorts. I don't know. What about ticketing and things like that? Or do tickets is something that they have to do on their own? I'm not as well. Stella says, is a small river cruise able to accommodate food allergies? Absolutely. So on the Ama Waterways, we were on the Viola for the Danube River Cruise. We did have some folks with a variety of different special dietary requirements and needs, and like any, Disney adventure, the chef is able to come out. They are able to accommodate, whether it's gluten-free, allergy-free, things like that. Certainly let your Mouse Fan Travel Advisor know ahead of time. So if there is something special, they are made aware before you get on board. But one thing that's nice about the river cruises is because the ships are small, the ship stores, like where they sort of where they store all their goods, are very small. So you'll like dock in the morning and you'll literally see local produce and fruits and vegetables and meats and fish brought on board day of. So it doesn't get any fresher than that, but it also allows them to be able to accommodate for allergies ahead of time. So, but again, if you are interested, talk to your Mouse Fan travel advisor. But I was very impressed, as well as some of the folks that were on there with us, about what they were able to do on the last AMA Waterways ship. And I really liked, the AMA Waterways staff was wonderful. Like, I love the accommodations. I really, really, I'm very excited now that I'm thinking about it. I love the smaller size. I will take a smaller, more intimate group than, when I say that numbers, those of you who know me from the business side of things, I always tell you numbers don't matter. Numbers don't matter. I would rather have a smaller, more intimate group where we can really sort of be close, not weird, closer than, a group just for vanity numbers, because I think it makes for a more enjoyable and intimate experience. Jason Knapp, Beth and Mike, I'm thinking we need to have a conversation at Shiki Sai to seal this deal. I'm hoping that I'm in this conversation somewhere, not just because I want Mike to come and Beth to come, but because you're going to Shiki Sai. So, just please do not leave me out of any or all of those conversations. I know every experience is special, but do I have a favorite river cruise I've done so far? I've only done one. I know Becky has done 59,000 of them somewhere. Again, we're starting the Kickstarter for Becky very soon. She could probably answer that question better. The Christmas markets was really, really nice. Because you have that added, I love the cold weather and getting bundled up, and it was snowing. And then did we mention how good the food is? Becky says, the Christmas markets are magical, but I also adore the Seine in France. The Normandy beaches are worth it alone. Yeah, this is nice too, because there's also, with all of them, there's this wonderful historical element and educational aspect that comes with it as well. We did a Nat Geo cruise for the Danube. There were Nat Geo guides and photographers there. This is going to be Adventures by Disney. So I'm really curious to compare and contrast the two. If you go back, and if somebody could please look it up for me, so I'm not sitting here typing, the conversation that I had with I'm going to do it anyway, Adventures by Disney, with the Adventures by Disney and the Nat Geo guides, that was on show number... Talking slowly to, that's not it. Okay, this was a Nat Geo expedition, and the show number was 7. Actually, I've got two of them for you. 718 is when I had the Nat Geo and Adventures by Disney guides join me on the show. And then 765 is when we did the review of the Christmas Market River Cruise. So if you want to listen to either or both, I think that'll be a nice sort of bookend experience of what the guides talked about before we went, and then our personal recaps of it after. This is Jason Knapp. Clearly, you've never seen Lou and I go out for sushi together. Damages. Yeah, Mike. I went with Jason and Lisa to sushi to the place that we went, that quiet little local place that we went, and we did okay. And I tried to make them understand, you don't know the level of sushi that Mike and I had. We were 3 people. Mike and I were just 2, and we probably had twice as much sushi. So it's how and why I look like this. So Starla says the Normandy beaches sold us. Jason says our anniversary will be day 8 on So Jason, do you mean our anniversary? When we first met, however long? Oh, do you mean your wife? He means his wife's anniversary. When, Jason, when did we first meet? I take that back. I know exactly when we met. We met in Epcot during the day, right near the Mexico Pavilion, the Mexico booth across from the Odyssey. You were with your son, and that is the very first time that we met. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that was a number of years ago. That was a long, long time ago. So, let me see. Kenneth says, Becky, you really hit a home run on the Christmas Market River Cruise. It was amazing. I agree about everything that you said there. Carlos said the Japan trip is going to be our 30-year wedding anniversary celebration. Oh, I will have extra sushi and omurice and all of the good things and matcha and okonomiyaki just for you. I'm always looking for an excuse to celebrate and double my order anywhere that I eat in Japan. So Emily says, sushi's healthy, fish is brain food, and there's usually vegetables. Emily, this right here is why, I mean, we're friends for lots of reasons, but that's it, because I like the way that you think and roll. So this is what we've got coming up. This is what is on the agenda. Disneyland Resort and Hollywood Adventures by Disney, our Seine River Cruise in September, and our Adventures by Disney to Japan. It is going to be an incredible year, 2025. Again, there's stuff on the whiteboard. There's a couple of things up here that I haven't fully or hinted to sharing with Becky as well. Becky says, do you want to see Lou turn into an 8-year-old? Let's take him to a sushi spot in Japan. Becky, somebody just sent me a picture from the place that you and I went, that Edo-style sushi bar in, oh my gosh, it's the area right outside of Tokyo Disneyland where I made you wait for like an hour, which is not pleasant, just to be clear. Like making Becky wait for anything, it's not good, but it paid off because I was maybe the happiest I have been like in my life, other than like the days that my children were born and the Giants winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's about it. Those three right there. The sushi experience we had, but somebody went there, took pictures of the same place and had a similar experience. He says, I went to this, it's Uriyasu, I don't remember what it's called. But he said, I went here, I went back and listened to the show, I went here because of how you talked about it. And he said he had that's right, you had to buy a suitcase. Becky bought so much stuff for herself. I'm sure she bought like one thing for somebody else, but most of her stuff was for her, and she needed to go and buy a suitcase and was complaining that the suitcases were too small. Like, she's like, don't you have any adult-sized suitcases here? It was an incident, but it was fine. It was fine. So, Carlos says, I'm starting a diet now for the Japan trip. Carlos, you're doing it wrong. You need to do the opposite. You need to prepare and train your body like a sumo wrestler. You need to prep your body for the expansion that is going to happen. Actually, that's not true, because you can eat a lot in Japan and you never feel, even as much as I eat, it's like going to Italy. Like you could eat a lot, but you don't feel full because everything is so fresh. It's cleaner eating, even though you might eat a lot more of it. So prepare yourself, condition your body, come to Walt Disney World. We will go out for sushi and I will show you the amount of sushi that you're going to need to eat in order to keep up in Japan. So Jonathan says, you met me, my brother, and my father at Katsura Grill in Japan next month. Again, to get all the Embries together and Katsura in a heartbeat, brother. You'll know. The giant Cheetos. Becky loves Didn't I send you a box that had the giant Cheetos in it after we came back? Didn't I send you or was it like a subscription box? Or no, I think would I buy you like the big Cheetos? When you come, don't tell them what the big Cheetos are. And it's not a weird euphemism. Becky's not being blue. Like, there literally are giant Cheetos on the bus. You should come with us just so you understand what it is. They're so good. How good are they? That 5 years later, Becky is still talking about the giant Cheetos from the Japan trip. So, but you ran out. Don't worry, Becky. We will go back more than once, possibly 3 times. We'll talk about it and see. But yeah, God, even like on the train, like the food that they hand out and stuff when you're on the trains, it is an amazing time. So that's what we have on the docket for 25. Also, including but not limited to our cruise on the Disney Treasure in February. If you weren't excited about the Treasure before, seeing some of the things that they just released from halfway to Halloween about the Haunted Mansion Lounge alone, like that, I think is selling people on the idea of coming on the Treasure. If that's not enough, we're going to go together as a family. It's WDW Radio's 20th-ish anniversary as well. The numbers are a little blurry, but it's like technically 21st, but the podcast started in 2005. It doesn't matter. We're going to celebrate 20 years. We're just going to sort of plant the flag in it. I am super excited for the treasure in February of 2025. And if you can't wait, and if you love Halloween as much as I do, because I'm a kid at heart, and I've already got a costume of the night for every single night, maybe Halloween on the high seas this October 21st through the 26th. I can't wait. I am planning and have already ordered some of they're not even Disney costumes, but I think I want to wear a costume every day. I want to share one of them. I think I did already. Dun, dun, dun. If you know, you know. If you know what those three sounds, those three notes, if you know what that is, that's going to be one of my costumes. So if you want to find out more about either or both of those, you can go to www.com/cruises and get a free, no obligation, zero obligation. They're free. There's not a lot of things that are free in this world. Becky will give you a free quote from our friends over at Mouse Fan Travel. And obviously, if you want to join us on any or all these, you do need to book through our friends at Mouse Fan Travel. Becky says space is still available for Japan. I think we only have 4 spots left, right? And fall in France on the Seine. So, and the cruise in October goes to Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. It rolls off the tongue. So that's what I'm really excited about too. So it's Halloween. It's on the Disney Magic. We're going to take the Bright Line. It's out of Fort Lauderdale. I really like the port down there. And we go to Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. And did I mention chicken tenders? And it's Halloween. I am an 8-year-old boy. It's fine. More like 7. I'm not even sure. I'm sure I was mature enough to be an 8-year-old. So that's what we got. That's what we got going on in 2024 and 2025. There's a lot of good stuff. Plus, we've also got all the momentum stuff happening too. Oh, there it is. Wait, I think I do have. There you go. That's what I was talking about before. When I was sort of saying sort of the free resource that I have for you, if you're a creator, an entrepreneur, solopreneur, you can go to LouMangello.com/mindset-mastery and download it for free. No obligation. Nothing. There you go. And maybe I have a momentum graphic. No, not yet. Do I? Yes, I do. There you go. If you're interested in momentum, you can go to LouMangello.com/momentum. Again, it doesn't say it here, but I promise there is a built-in $100 off discount code. And if you have any questions about any of these, just reach out to me, lou@wdwradio.com, or hit me up on any social, and I'm happy to chat with you, get on a quick call with you to make sure that momentum is right for you. Room service tenders, Mary Wells. You had me at room service tenders because it's one of my favorite. I know, there's so much good food on Disney Cruise Line, and I smile like this because I get excited thinking about chicken tenders. I have explored chicken tenders elsewhere, and they cannot compare. The captions read, Becky's going to start calling me Luma. Becky, I've been called so much worse than Luma. I would take that that's a plus at this point. And I've heard some of the things that you've called me, and it's worse than Luma. Kira says, I still go back to my Momentum booklet for advice. Momentum is the very best thing I've done business-wise. Can somebody screenshot that and just post that? Wait, hold on. Screenshot it. Okay, now I can use that elsewhere. Thank you very much, Kira. Yeah, at Momentum, what was the book this year? The book gets bigger. I created a workbook that everyone gets. I think it's 150 pages. It's 150 pages, 8.5 by 11, not 150 pages 7 by 5. So it is a full actual workbook that you get to. Becky says, yeah, it's time to start planning for 2026. Becky, if you'd forget that whiteboard, there's another whiteboard in here that I'm not even ready to break the seal on that one for you. And some of the thoughts that are going through my head. Plus, there's the other thing that you and I have been talking about and researching that is different than this side of stuff. The thing on the thing. moment. It doesn't matter. It's fine. We'll get to that when the time has come. There's already a lot to sort of unpack this week. And speaking of this week and next week and the week after, on Friday, we leave on our Adventures by Disney to London and Paris, which I've never done before. I've been to both locations before. I've spoke in London a few years ago, met up with Becky. We toured a few locations, started to incubate this idea of doing the Adventures by Disney. Well, it finally is here. Do I have a graphic for it? Yeah. Oh, well, that's not the one I wanted, but it's okay. It's close enough. It starts, next week. We're going to have a meetup on the road in London at Russell Square. If you are planning on coming to the meet, the location has been moved. We outgrew the coffee shop. Based on the number of people that are coming, the coffee shop said, please don't come in the most polite London ways to do it. So there's a beautiful park right across the street. There's a cafe right there as well. So you can get like a crimpet or a crumpet or whatever they're called, and your tea and coffee and English breakfast with beans and toast and all that kind of stuff. And then come on over to the meet, and I'll have stuff. I'll have stuff to give away, which reminds me, I have to write myself a note to get my stuff ready. This is where I chicken scratch get stuff for meet. I'm not going to know what that means in a couple of hours, but hopefully I can go and play this back. Scones, Becky, I haven't even started to pack yet. I haven't even thought about, equipment, flames are from the side of my face. I am not ready, and I'm still not going to be ready, because as soon as I'm done here tonight, I've got a lot of stuff here that I need to tackle. At some point I need to sleep tonight. I've got a meeting tomorrow. I leave on Friday. I'll probably start packing midnight tomorrow. That's just the way it goes. David Turner, so looking forward to seeing you, brother. Clotted cream and jam. Debbie Anderson, I learned about clotted cream from Emma Godbold, who lives, wait a minute, come on. I'm not sure if Emma's watching because of the time difference, but I learned about clotted cream with Emma. She and I did the Royal Tea Service, which was lovely, in the Grand Floridian many, many moons ago. And I was like, clotted cream sounds like something that you're not supposed to eat. She's like, no, it's lovely. Oh, I shouldn't do that. That's a really bad. Well, that's my impression of Emma. It's fine. And she was right. It was lovely and delicious. And I'm looking forward to all of the things. Dave Brookover, I have known you and your family for, I can't even remember how many years ago. I saw a picture of Michaela the other day. And then I look back and I met Michaela. She was like Lou height. And now she's all grown up and cast member extraordinaire. So looking to see you guys. In terms of packing, I'm layered. You're going to see me in a lot of the same clothes. Chances are they're going to be black because I keep telling myself that they're somewhat slimming. I'm not sure. It's just black in layers. It is black in layers. You Tater, what's going on, brother? You got to go check out You Tater's channel on the YouTubes. He does all kinds of good stuff and he's just a cool guy. I like You Tater because I like the man. He's in front of the camera, but I like the man behind the camera. Is that making any sense? Anyway, go check out You Tater on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if the tea service is back in the Grand Floridian. I don't think so. You know what is back at the Grand Floridian, though? 1900 Park Fair, which I'm going to give it a little more time, and then I'm going to go back and do a live review. I'm not normally a character, meal kind of guy. I really liked it. Mirabelle and Tiana were awesome. They were awesome. And Tiana, I don't know what you put in that gumbo. Oh, Becky, that's the thing that I got to talk to you about. I don't want to say anything, but I'll use code NOLA. Got to talk about that this weekend as well. She makes a mean gumbo. She makes a mean gumbo. So, by the way, if you're excited or getting excited for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, please go back to episode number, I know it starts with a 7. It's episode number. I had a chance to visit Walt Disney Imagineering for a very special sneak peek and chat with some of the Imagineers behind these. It show 779, although I'm looking right now and the number on the graphic is wrong. It shows 779, although the graphic says it's 770. That is from, has it been a month, 2 months? That was from April. Yeah, it was about a month or so ago. Really gives you some insight into what is happening and what is coming for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So Becky says we need more months in the year. I need something. Deborah Mickens, I'm not saying that you cracked the code, but in terms of one of my favorite places in the United States, it may or may not be, those letters may or may not be involved in the name. So speaking of not just my favorite places, it's as if you can hear me. My favorite places on Earth, when my favorite places and my favorite people come together, magic happens. And in this case, my favorite place is the boathouse, and my favorite person is Steve Schussler, and they come together, and there's this beautiful sort of golden aura around the boathouse that is this convergence of the two. I love me, and I miss you, Steven Schussler. I mean that sincerely, not just because of your filet sliders, but because I miss the man, Steven Schussler, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Very, very soon. So it's been a long time since I've been to the boathouse. Like, I feel, can I sneak in a boathouse visit before I leave on Friday? Probably. Oh, wait, maybe I can tomorrow after my meeting. That would not be the worst way. It would not be the worst way to spend the day. A couple of filet sliders with caramelized onions on top, truffle fries on the side, and a nice unsweet tea, because clearly I'm watching my figure. The only thing missing would be Steve Schuss. Steve, please let me know next time you come, not when you're on the plane or when you're on the plane back, but before you come. I would love to just say hello and give you a hug and say thank you for being the amazing person that you are. So, how hard will it be to get D23 tickets for the Tiano preview tomorrow? They can't be selling that many. Gary Witt, the answer is probably going to be frustratingly difficult, because if trying to get tickets for D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Experience, was any sort of indicator, that wound is still very, very deep and fresh for me. These tickets are going to go very, very fast. The same thing for annual pass holder previews. I know it literally brought down the booking site yesterday, people trying to make the reservations for that day. So we shall see. So Jonathan Embry says, let's talk about the place called NOLA and Tiana after this live broadcast. Jonathan knows things and people. Jonathan, he's the man he's got connections. Amy says, I need your review of the Captain Jack Sparrow restaurant in Disneyland Paris, which I've never been to before. I'm hoping on this trip to hit some of the dining locations that I haven't done before. Captain Jack's is one of them. I will say Disneyland Paris did not, my favorite part of Disneyland Paris was not the food. That is a diplomatic way to say it. There were some things that I like, but across the board, it was okay. It was pretty good. Some things stood out more than others. A lot of prefix menus at table service restaurants. But we are going to be there for a couple of days after the ABD, and then I'm actually going to be staying a couple of days after that for an as yet undisclosed reason. So he needed num-nums and a nap after D23 ticket sales. Becky, one day I will maybe share that story. I was at a conference and spent 3 days in my room with at least 3 devices, including other people trying to get on it. It was not, they need to update that system, but I'm not going to go down that road because we're having fun tonight. And I don't want to do anything to take away from that. So, by the way, Steven Schussler, a lot of love for the boathouse here. Firecracker shrimp. Jason, right? If only there was somebody. You, Tater, you should have your meetings at the boathouse. You'd be surprised, or maybe wouldn't be surprised, when I do one-on-one coaching sessions, people say, "Oh, if I'm in town, would you do it in person?" It's of course. Do you know how many people say, "Can we do it at the boathouse?" Like, it's not that I want to go to the boathouse, but far be it for me to disappoint. There was somebody, and I don't think he's here tonight, who the very first time I met him, he booked a coaching meeting. He lives in Texas. He booked a one-on-one coaching, and he flew in just for the one-on-one coaching session. And I was like, yikes, dude. And we went to Boathouse, and normally a coaching session, depending on how you do it, is an hour. Like, I felt so bad. I'm like, we need to stay longer because you literally just flew in for this. And oh, by the way, we're sitting outside of the Boathouse. We've been friends ever since, but that's the draw that I think that the Boathouse has. So, Becky, it's why? Why do I do this? Why do I travel with this woman? Oh, because we're going to London and Paris and then Japan and then the Seine and then that's why. Heather, yes, we will be once again, WDW Radio, Mouse Fan Travel, Lou and Becky coming together. We're pushing the two models together like Marty Sklar did for Epcot Center and the World Showcase Pavilions. And we build the Uber booth, the mega booth, the WDW Radio Mouse Fan Travel Experience Extraordinaire. That's not the official title, but it's what I'm working. It's what the t-shirts say at this point. But we will be together in the Emporium once again. We've got something new this year that we're going to do. It's going to be fun. It's going to be different. And there's other stuff that I'm not ready to share just yet. So, my crazy busy week explains why there wasn't a podcast. Yes. So Gregory, I was supposed to record on Monday, was unable to do it. Recorded yesterday late, couldn't get the show up. Today has just been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because of the thing. So, and plus because I'm going to be leaving, because I have a lot of production that I need to do on it and recording to still do on the episode. I'll probably release that on Sunday while I'm on the road, praying that everything works okay. And I don't know if I'll get an archives episode up. It's, again, spinning a lot of plates, and the ABD is very, very wonderfully busy. So, yeah, but thank you for being patient. So that's why if you go back, listen to the Tiana interview once again, or your favorite. If you can, pick one of your favorite episodes. Maybe I'll do this. Pick one of your favorite episodes, share it on social, tag me at Lou Mongello, like in the next 24 hours, and I'll randomly pick somebody and I'll send you a prize package. There you go. But you got to tag me. You got to tag me. So, Instagram preferred, X, I'm on a little bit. It's a bit of a cesspool, but it's fine. Or Facebook. Pick any one of those three, or even LinkedIn. Share one of your favorite episodes. Tag me, and I'll randomly select somebody, and I will send you a prize package. Maybe I'll even send you a prize package of stuff that I bring back from our Adventures by Disney, or just some WDW Radio stuff. So there you go. Becky said, I love the castle in Disneyland Paris. Castle is the most beautiful castle. It is the most beautiful castle. That's the thing I haven't done yet. Did we? No. Did I? Did I do an episode? Yes. Of the best of the Disney parks around the world? I think I did. I think we did. Because I think it was a love fest for Japan. But the castle, best of the best in Walt Disney World. Did I not do this? I could have sworn Can somebody help me out? Did I not do this? Did I not do a best of the Disney parks around the world episode yet? I could have sworn I did that. There's no way when I come back I'm going to understand what that means. But, Amanda, yes, I did, didn't I? Like, I can't be... Man, the old man's losing it. And clearly I need more than just this cup of coffee. Yeah, didn't we do it with... Yes, the best of the Disney park. Okay, I typed it in wrong. 759. Man, Mongello. 759 and 760, the best of the Disney parks around the world. It's a two-parter. This week's show might be a two-parter as well. This week's show, I won't say who it is, but this person always brings it. And I really, really enjoyed this episode, recording it. It's about a topic that I love, but not in a way that you think. And I think this too is going to combine a few of the things that I love about Disney and mushes them both together in something that I think is going to be an interesting look, and I'm very curious to hear your feedback on. So, yeah, 759 and 760 is best of the Disney parks, because I think wasn't it like me, Becky, Jeremiah from Laughing Place, and Janine. That's right. It was Janine. So that's right. I was waiting many, many years to do that answer. That's right. It was supposed to be 60-second answers. It didn't work, and that's why it's in 2 parts. Mia, I try that all the time. Like, I often will tell my guests, Becky, listen, let's try and make the show a half hour long. 57 minutes in, we start doing the like roundup of things. There you go. Amy says, more podcasts with Zach Brown? Said no one ever, except for Amy. Amy, are you related to Zach? Did Zach? I actually do love Zach, and I just haven't seen Zach in a while, but you can tell Zach that you said that to me and have Zach reach out to me, and we'll make it happen when I get back. So there you go. All right. I think that's it. I think that's it for tonight. I could talk to you guys all night long. Shocker. Because it's like getting together with friends. The only thing that we're missing is a table with a nice charcuterie board and sushi, and it would be perfect. So, look, Dave Brookover has to go and pack. I got to deal with that stuff over there that you can't see, and the pile of stuff right here that thankfully you can't see. There's a lot of machinations and goings on behind the scenes that you don't see, which is the way it's supposed to be, right? You're not supposed to see it. But thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you, Becky Menken, for being here. If you have any questions about any of our upcoming Adventures by Disney, please reach out to me, reach out to your Mouse Fan Travel Advisor or to Becky, and we'll be happy to help you. Again, Japan, we only have 4 spots left. Disneyland is currently sold out, but we will be taking a wait list and possible second date right around that same time of year. And we do still have spots available for our Seine River Cruise. And again, all those are because of and thanks to and with our friends over at mousefantravel.com. That's it. That's the extent of my singing. So that's it. That is going to do it for this week's show. Let me see. A couple of last minute reminders. Let me see what else I got here. I talked about this. I talked about that. Let me see. I'm sure I'm missing something. Oh, huge thanks, by the way, to anyone who was a member of the WDW Radio Nation. I had a coaching call with somebody the other day and was talking at a conference I was at a week or so ago about you and the nation and what you mean to me, not just because of your support, but just what you as an extension of the WDW family and community mean. If you want to find out more about the nation, you can visit WDWRadioNation.com and help support the show for as little as $1 per month and get exclusive rewards every month. I am super excited to send out this month's care package, custom care package for everyone who is a platinum member of the nation. There is still some good stuff. Jim says he needs his nation sticker. Jim, I also owe you breakfast, lunch, and or dinner. I'll bring you all of the nation goodies. And if there's ever anything that I can do for you, please, please, please reach out and let me know. Don't forget to choose the good. More importantly, be the good in the way that you treat and help and give to others. Please follow along. This week, I'm going to be sharing a lot from our Adventures by Disney starting on Friday all the way through when I come back on June 2nd. It's going to be a long trip, and then I go right into something else that next week that I'm not allowed to share yet that I promise you're going to want to follow along with. There's not one, but 2 very, very, very special events and things that I'm going to bring you live and on the socials. So stay tuned. Mark your you don't have to mark your calendars. It doesn't matter. It's fine. But I'm excited to bring all of that to you and with you. I love you, and I mean that from the bottom of my little 7-year-old heart. And more importantly, I appreciate you. I don't remember how to make all the other stuff happen, but that's it. There you go. Those fireworks are for you. So thank you. I love you. Have a great night. See ya.